Yes, for you to get the business account, that's why I sent you the additional $500. And you have to send back my money.
What if I give you 200?
Did you send it? Andy, are you there? Hello?
What about 150?
No, you said you got 200.
But 150 is fair.
Okay, I will let Zell know that you are going to send 150. I will email them now.
Actually, can we do 100?
No, you said 150, so 150 be it.
But I think 100 is more fair.
No, 150, so they will be able to upgrade your account into the business account immediately.
But you said 500 earlier.
But you said you don't have 500. Send back my 500 now. I knew you were trying to play me. I am on the phone with the FBI.
But what about 100? What about 75?
I'm calling the FBI now.
What if I pay you in Pokemon cards?
Send back my 500. The FBI are requesting for your address right now. I guess this is one of your friends. They sent me this.
Never met him.
They are heading to his home now to get everything about you. They said he knows everything about you, so they can track you through him.
He's a scammer. I'd be careful.
The FBI will definitely cash you. Just stay on alert.
Cash me? Sounds great.
Yeah, they are going to catch you.
Oh, catch. Sorry, you still want the phone? Hello? Are you ignoring me? Hello world, my name is Andy Silvers, and today we're going to talk about the online scammers playbook. So basically, I'm going to talk about the sort of play-by-play rules and sort of ideas that scammers tend to use across the board. And I'm going to give you some feedback on how to avoid being scammed and what to look for in case something is a scam. So we're going to go through that in pretty good detail, and I think it'll not only be informational, but educational and hilarious, because some of the comments that scammers send you are pretty crazy. First, I want to let you know that this channel is not currently monetized, even though it is growing pretty quickly. So if you would like to support me more directly, please subscribe and like, obviously. But I am also an author and filmmaker, and if you're interested in checking out any of my books, I literally have books for all ages, from like 3 to 6-year-olds to 16 and up. Please check those out at the links in the description. They include contemporary fantasy. I have a book called Solomon Grando versus the Jupiter Witch. Coming of age, I have a book called Red Sprites and Blue Jets. And I have my newest book, The Very Colorful Caterpillar for ages 3 to 6. It is a picture book that is inspired by The Very Hungry Caterpillar, but is distinctly different. So basically, there's been an uprise in the past few years, as you may know, with online scammers, people trying to basically get your money, people trying to pretend that they're going to buy something from you from either eBay or Facebook Marketplace, but actually they're just scammers who are trying to get money from you. Now, the thing about eBay is that eBay actually has a very foolproof system for paying for items. Let's say they buy something. eBay has a place where the person can put in their credit card and debit card information. There's also a link through PayPal. So there's no reason that you should have to personally deal with payment behind the scenes on eBay. However, Facebook Marketplace, while there is a Facebook payment option, that's usually only going to be relevant if you are mailing an item to someone. If you are meeting up in a public location or something like that, or even if you're potentially dropping it off at their doorstep, then the financial transaction may be more physical. I sold a laptop, a ZBook mobile workstation, actually. I sold a laptop on Facebook Marketplace, and I met up at a Walmart with the person, and they did pay me electronically, but I was right there when they paid me with PayPal, and I made sure that the transaction was indeed legitimate before I gave them the computer. So let's go through what a lot of scammers will do and say in order to convince you to sell them an item and then them try to rip you off with the payment process. The first thing that's worth noting is that 99.9% of times, scammers will not use their actual Facebook account for Messenger. Instead, they will use a fake account that they made up. They will pull some random person's profile picture and date of birth, plug that in, maybe post one thing or something, have no friends or like 2 friends if they have any, and then they will use that to put in a request and say, hey, is this item available for sale? Right? So I've sold many items, including a phone, phone cases, laptops, cameras. I've sold so many things via Facebook Marketplace, and it's a wonderful tool. But scammers try to take advantage of this tool by lying to people who just don't expect this kind of stuff. And a lot of you may think you would never fall for it, and a lot of you would not. So let's go through the playbook. The first thing that a scammer will probably do is ask if the item is for sale, and you'll say yes. Then what they will typically do is pretend that they don't live in the state, because of course they don't actually want to meet up with you publicly, because then it's very difficult for them to rip you off, but also because they don't care what state you're in. They just want to get money from you. You could be in California and they're in Virginia. It doesn't matter. They just want money from you. So they will pretend to be in a different state. And what they will often do, and this is a bit odd, what they will often do is say, my brother's going to pick it up, or my sister, my cousin, or I want you to mail the item to my dad, or mail it to this person. They're generally not going to say, mail it to me. And I'm not exactly sure why they do this, but my best guess is that it creates a bit of distance between them and you. By claiming you're sending it to their niece, if something goes wrong, they can. If you do end up sending the package, they say, well, not my responsibility. It's my niece's responsibility. They have to send it back to you. I didn't. It was not mine. So they can kind of distance themselves from the actual item that you're trying to ship them. So that's something that they'll do. The next thing that they will do is they will ask you how much the item is, even though the marketplace listing will tell you how much the item is. And then this is where the scam usually begins. So everything seems legitimate at first, and it is legitimate questions. But what they'll do is they'll say, hey, do you have either Zelle or PayPal? I believe Zelle is owned by Wells Fargo. I'd have to double check that. But I know that it is through Wells Fargo in some capacity. And then PayPal, of course, is one of the most famous, popular sort of online transactional resources in existence. So they will ask you that, and then you will send them your email, which is the bare minimum that they need in order to actually send you the payment. Because if you look in your Zelle or PayPal account, there will be no payment, and there'll be nothing on hold. There'll be nothing. There'll be no activity at all whatsoever. Instead, there will be an email. And emails are much easier to fake than trying to create an entire website that looks kind of like Zelle or something. That's just not even remotely possible for most people. And if they have the skill to do that, they can probably make money as a software developer. Anyway, so they will make a email that looks like it's Zelle or PayPal, but it is not actually Zelle or PayPal. So this is an example of an email that is not actually from Zelle, but it looks kind of like it's from Zelle. It says you have successfully received an additional payment of $300. To be credited with the sum of $420, you're required to send back $300. Zelle agent, yada, yada, yada. So this is all fake. It's all a bunch of baloney. None of this stuff is real. And so there's a few key things to look out for. First off, if they're asking you to send back money, they're lying. You should not have to send back money in order for them to buy something from you, like a phone case or something. There's no reason for it. It makes no sense. So the reason they want you to send back money is because the money they're sending back was never actually yours to begin with, or that was never actually given to you to begin with. So what they'll do is they'll send you an email that basically says, here's how much the item is worth. And then they may send you a follow-up email that basically looks like this one and asks you to send back an additional payment. There are a number of reasons why they will claim that you need to send back a payment. Usually it'll be something related to a bogus business account which is nonsense. You do not need a business quote-unquote account in order to make a simple payment via Zelle or PayPal, but they will say it anyway. They will say you need to send back money, even though they never actually gave you money in the first place, and the only thing that says they gave you money is the email, which, like I said, can be very easily faked. And in fact, that's the next thing I want to talk to you about is the email. So, how can you spot if it's a real email from Zelle or fake? 99.9% of the time, the way to check is to look at the email address that they sent you. So, PayPal and Zelle, and for that matter, Facebook's MetaPay, all of them are big companies and have access to their own domain. They can actually create their own custom email. So, for example, it'll say something like online transaction at Zelle.com or PayPal services at PayPal.com. Actually, the real email for PayPal, I believe, is PayPal at PayPal.com. So very official sounding. This email, however, says online Zelle transaction at gmail.com. So if it says at Gmail, 99.99% of the time, it's bogus. Because, of course, big companies like this don't use Gmail for important messages like this. They just don't do it. So if you see the email says something about a Gmail account, then it is by definition wrong. And the emails they send you will usually say something about the funds cannot be credited until you upgrade to the business account, which is bogus. There's no such thing, and if there is, you don't need it for a simple transaction. And they will try to get you to give them $300 or however many dollars it is. Sometimes they'll just pretend like they accidentally sent you too much. However, usually that's not convincing enough, so they'll claim something else, like this business account scam. Another thing that they will almost always do is ask you to send a screenshot. So, and a screenshot of the email. They want you to send them a screenshot of the email. I think there's a few reasons that they do this. So the first reason is obviously because they're lying to you and they're pretending to be a customer. And so what they will do is they will verify that you did indeed get their scam email by having you screenshot it and send them a picture. This allows them to pretend like the information they got is from you with the screenshot and not from them sending you the email fraudulently, if that makes sense. If Zelle says that you owe $200 in an email, then in theory, the person who owes it should receive the email. But of course, they don't because they're lying. It's all a scam. So only you have gotten an email. So they will ask you to screenshot it so that you show them. And then they can, oh, see, it says give us $300 for the business account. We can upgrade you to the business account and then we can refund you or whatever, which they're never going to do. The other thing to note is that, well, the other reason they probably want you to send a screenshot is for records. They want to be able to say, look, see, this is what happened. This is the email they got. See, it's all legit. That's probably the other reason they want you to send a screenshot. Oftentimes, they will also message you and be like, please check your inbox or spam folder. The reason they want you to do this is because they know that Gmail is smart enough in some cases to catch really suspicious activity. So they will ask you to check the spam folder because they know that the email is probably going to be caught as fraudulent, and they want you to find it and they want you to respond to it. So if it's sent to your spam folder, 99% of the time it is actually spam, and you should not click on any links, anything inside the email. In fact, you should never click on an email link, even if it looks like it's from Zelle, because it could open up a fake version of Zelle. However unlikely, it is possible. So what I will do is I will basically tease or piss off the people who are sending me these scam messages by making stupid comments or asking them stupid questions. Like, if they say that I need to send back $500 for the business account, I say, well, what if I want to keep the $500, huh? And they'll say, well, I have to trust you. I'm like, no, sorry, I kind of want to keep the business account. You know what? If you figure out that they're scamming you, you have all the right in the world to just screw them over and keep them on there yakking and making stupid comments. This is also important actually if Facebook were to launch an investigation, because the more information you can get them to say, the more crazy stuff you can get them to admit, the more likely it is that they will be found indeed guilty of fraudulent activity and have that particular Facebook account removed. Unfortunately, these scammers don't care about having one account removed and are happy to make a whole new Gmail and Facebook account, if need be, in order to continue scamming people. So, unfortunately, this video is not about how you can destroy the scammer per se, because most likely you can't. They're pretty anonymous. But what you can do is avoid being scammed yourself. Here is an entire conversation between me and a scammer who was pretending that they wanted to buy a set of cameras and lenses. So they say, "Hi, I'm interested." I say, "Okay." They say, "I hope it's in mint condition." I say, "It's not perfect, but it's up for negotiation." They say, "Okay, good. Where are you located?" I say, "Zirconia, North Carolina." And then they say, "Oops, I'm located in Springfield's Garden, New York. How do I receive it?" I say, "We can ship most likely." They say, "Okay, sounds good. How much will that cost me?" I said, "I'll add an additional $30 flat fee." "Okay, what's the payment method?" I say PayPal or Zelle. They say Zelle's fine. I tell them my email address. They say, "Good, am paying now. We'll send you a screenshot." And then they say they want me to send them a video for some reason, so that's even more complicated than a screenshot. And then the last message they sent was, "Hi, I just sent out the payment. I urge you to check your email inbox or spam folder for confirmation." Yet again, they're admitting that they know that it's a scam, basically, because why would it appear in the spam folder if it's from PayPal at paypal.com or whatever it is, a Zelle account at Zelle.com or something very official and simple. Usually the emails from these companies will be very simple. It will not be lots of ones and zeros. It won't be Zelle2557 at Gmail or something. It'll be very simple. And they send me a bogus screenshot pretending that they sent $6,500 to my account, which they did not. And I checked the email in question, and I immediately recognized that it was a Gmail account, which is extraordinarily suspicious. And the only thing I messaged them back was scam. That's it, just the word scam, and they stopped. They literally stopped messaging me, which in a lot of cases they will, because they got caught. However, some people are a little bit more ridiculous than this, and they will actually basically try to continue bugging you and continue trying to pretend like it's not a scam and that everything is completely legitimate. And some of them will even use Facebook Messenger to call you, and I would never advise answering those calls. If the person says any of the things that I said in this video, any of the ways that they say things, then it's usually going to be extremely suspicious. If they pressure you a ton, like, "Did you receive it? Hi, are you still there? Hello, did you get it? Did you get notified in your email? Send me a screenshot." All these things are not proof that it's a scam, but they certainly are evidence, because the faster the scammer can work to get your money and get out of there, the harder it's going to be for them to get caught and for you to realize that there's something going on, right? If they can get your money quickly and get out, then they're not likely to get caught, and you're likely to not only potentially lose your money, but lose the item, because you may end up shipping it to them. So now they have both your item and your money, which is the ultimate worst case scenario. And it's very easy to become impatient, right? If you have an item, let's say something that's only $50, which isn't that expensive, and it's taking 3 weeks to sell, well, it can be very easy to become impatient and be like, "This is ridiculous. I'll just sell it to this person. If I have to send $200 back, it's fine. I just want to get this sold." Don't allow your impatience and anger to allow you to fall for a scam. Scam artists are depending on this. They want you to not be paying attention and for you to be upset about not being able to sell the item. Even if you do need money right now, it's not worth losing hundreds of dollars or maybe even thousands to some sort of scam artist. So be sure to check the email. Be sure to check for the things I mentioned that are like giveaways in the way that they converse with you. And don't hesitate to call them out. Again, you want to have your actual Zelle or PayPal account open and look and be refreshing it, looking for actual information or evidence that they paid you. If the only evidence is in an email, it's probably 99% of the time it's baloney, it's fake. So that's been this video. Please let me know if you or someone you know has been scammed or someone attempted to scam you in the comments. These are actually kind of cool and fun stories because either you made the mistake and you can learn from it, or you didn't make the mistake and we can all just have a laugh at how stupid and irritating scammers can be. So please let me know about those situations in the comments. Let me know if you have any future video ideas you want me to cover. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.